Hi everybody, this is Jimmy and welcome back to Jimmy Does Knitting. I am a knitter and knitwear designer based here in Amsterdam, and you come to me on a beautiful January day and I decided let's have a chat. So we have a change of scenery, we're in my living room, I have a bunch of space to show you stuff right here, and we will get into my Make 9 today. Before that, I am Jimmy Does Knitting on Instagram, Ravelry, Ko-Fi if you want to join, and you can also download my patterns on Ravelry. I just had a release of the Foxwood scarf. It is a free pattern. I used 3 skeins of Woolfolk Far, and you guys, you got it to number 4, which is incredible and amazing, and if you want, you can go and download it because it's free. So do that. I would like to acknowledge that I have a bit of bedhead and it's not fixing itself, so this is what's happening for this video. I have to go to yoga later. This is just where I am. Also, I am wearing the Enigmatic sweater. This is a design of mine that is coming out in March. It uses Chaos Yarn Organic Soft Merino. It is a top-down raglan, and I think it's beautiful. Part of the reason why I wore this is, 1, it's so comfortable. I never want to take it off. This yarn is fantastic. But 2, it helps me stand out against this blue background. We have lighting issues. I don't know how it's going to show up on camera, but the design choices we've made here and then the lighting of the house are crazy. So there's that. Let's get into my Make 9. So little caveats. I'll try to keep this quick. I tend to just knit what I want. So a lot of these are not specific projects, but sort of like an idea of a project, and I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll use a pattern, maybe I'll make it up myself. I'm not really going to do any like popular knitting patterns or knitting people, so if that's what you're into, this is not your channel, and we're just gonna see as it goes. These are sort of like knitting goals more than anything else, and it's nice if I get to them, but if I don't, that's also fine. So let's see what we have. I have a list over here, so if I look down, that's what's gonna happen. Okay, the first one on the list is something that's going to be epic and is also going to bankrupt me. So I want to knit this Prada sweater from their Fall Winter 17 collection. It's like an all over like intarsia raglan, and I have so many ideas for this, and I have like a really good plan to the point where I've made an appointment at my local yarn store. I have actually set time to go and pick out colors with people to make this sweater. That's all of the things. So I'm going to definitely just knit this, and I will make a video about it, and I'll share it on the regular podcast as well. Also, Sibling Energy Pod has a knit along, and this will be my submission to the knit along. I'm thinking this will start like March-ish. I'll start on it, but like the planning, it's already happened. It's going to happen this year. I've loved this sweater for a long time. This is the year that we recreate it, and I think I have a clear way of going about that. So that is my first one on my Make 9. My second one is a Guernsey. So a Guernsey, or Guernsey, however you pronounce it, is a traditional fisherman's sweater. It's usually found with fishermen in the North Sea, and I made one last year. You can check it out in a video link. But they have like a ton that are historic, and I have, I think, like 4 or 5 books about Guernsey knitting, and I have like, I use them as stitch dictionaries really, and there's something really nice about it that like I just want to make my own, and they have like different shapings for different regions and different patterns and whatever. I'm not going to make a so historically accurate one, but I'm going to use roughly traditional methods and motifs and stuff like that. So that's the plan. What those motifs are, I don't know, but I think I want it to have like a mock neck and like a little bit of a gusset here, and then of course the gusset on the underarm, and just like all over texture, I think, maybe. But the reason why, I have a cone here. the reason why this is on the list is because I made one last year and I bought too much yarn. I bought this Woolyknit 5-ply British Guernsey wool, and it's fantastic to work with. I would say it's like a heavy fingering light sport. It is Guernsey wool, which is 5 plies that are spun quite tightly. So the idea is the wool was spun in such a way that it was warm and it created like a plump fabric, and that fabric is going to be able to hold your heat in and keep water out, that sort of thing. So it's a really cool yarn to work with. It's a little weird. It has like some good stretch to it, like more so than normal. It's like a plumpy yarn. But I'm going to knit this on, I think I'm going to do 3mm needles, which is like a US, I don't know, 2 or something. Tiny needles for a whole man's sweater in the Guernsey wool. This is the color I have. This is their navy color. This is like, I guess, the most traditional color they have. And so, yeah, I will do something like that. I will probably veer more onto the Dutch Guernsey side because I just think that they look better, but everything's fair game. So we'll see. So a Guernsey for me is in the cards next. I have this Does Diamonds motif that I have done for a bunch of things. It's in the Does Diamonds scarf. It's in the Does Diamonds hat picture. And I also did it for a sweater that I designed for Making Stories, which is going to come out in fall, winter. But this could be the year that I make the Does Diamonds sweater. So this is what I'm thinking, is taking this motif and doing it all over. And then it will be pieced in like saddle shoulder raglan-y. So like there will be like a strip on the top and then it would like go down almost into a raglan. And I have just like, it's sort of based off of the Saven and Awen by Meghan Babin, like that sort of construction, but with this motif all over. And I'm not sure I actually understand how to construct it, and also it's going to be super complicated to explain to other people, so this is not going to be published into a pattern, but it is something I want to do because I think it will be incredibly beautiful, and I think it will be a technically challenging piece, and it will be lovely. So that's what I plan to do with the Does Diamonds motif, and maybe this is the year that I do it. I was going to use Cascade yarns. I had a bunch of yarn that I bought like 2 years ago to do it for. That was it, Cascade yarns. But I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know if it wears well. Does it? I don't know. Let me know. So that's that. Next. Oh, I want to do something simple. So I actually think I'm going to start this project tomorrow. But Millie, what Millie makes, said she was making a 2x2 beanie by Anne G. Never heard of it. It's a free pattern. I went to go and download it because I want to learn how to knit English style. I am a combination knitter, so I knit continentally and I like pick my pearls so they're all twisted. And so I want to learn, I know how to make my pearls not twisted. There are a bunch of different purling ways on continental, but I am not a confident English knitter. I think the best I've gotten was just like dropping the yarn and like looping it around and then dropping it and then like looping it around. So I want to use just like a simple project to learn how to knit English style and just do the whole thing English style, even if it's frustrating. So I thought a beanie would be good because it's quick. It can use up stash, which I have a ton of. They're all leftovers, but I have enough to make a beanie. It has knits, it has pearls, and it also has decreases. It doesn't really have increases, but like the idea is I want to get the hang of a knit and a pearl. So I think that that's a good reason to do a hat. And then one other thing is this pattern happens to be written in Dutch. And like I said, I live in Amsterdam. Now, is my Dutch great? No. Everybody speaks English and it's fine, except for the neighbors the other day, and we went to the Markt, which is like a big market, and we were talking to the guy at the Lumpia stand, and both of us were just like, I don't really know what you're saying. Something about Germany going to Russia. It was crazy. And sometimes I question my Dutch, I guess is the thing. And even Mr. Does Knitting, like, works in Dutch. I do not. I always work in English. But anyway, that's a tangent. But I think that I would like to learn how to read a Dutch pattern. So there's the English version of it. I'm a pretty competent knitter, so I could figure it out anyway. But I don't know Dutch knitting terms. And I think it would be nice to do that and then maybe translate some of my patterns into Dutch. I don't know. We'll see. It could be fun. It could not be fun. We'll see. Next, we have a jacket. So there are contenders for this jacket, but I've only knit one cardigan. It was for my dad. It was by Jared Flood. I don't remember the name of it. It was a pretty simple, straightforward cardigan. It had like a shawl collar. But I have a couple contenders in mind. One is my Sandy Well scarf. So this is a scarf hood thing with this like herringbone pattern. I can't really see it very well here, but it, it goes over your head, you wrap up, and it's lovely. Look a bit Virgin Mary like this, but this is in Montalope by Wool Dreamers. It's their unspun yarn, and it has this woven texture. I don't know how well this is showing up, but it alternates to look like a herringbone, and that's what you need to know. And it's relatively flat. I am going to do a shawl at one point with this yarn. I have Sandy Well shawl, but that will be like when and if, and I'll just add it to the pattern. But anyway, I think that this would be a really cozy jacket because it has that like woven motif. Can you see the woven motif? It has like a woven motif, and I think using something like Donegal yarn. I used their soft marl before, but I think Donegal soft is also a candidate. That happens to be something that appeals to me, and I think that it would make a good like jacket. I want it to be warm and rustic and like woven looking. There is also another yarn coming out later this year that I have seen that might be a good contender for this, but I can't talk about it. So that is one idea for the jacket. I have it sort of all mapped out in my mind, but like I have 1,000 other projects I need to do first. Another option is Knitting for Olive on their YouTube has done these swatches of like their basic colors and mixing it with different mohairs and stuff. And what I have found is I like a light main yarn and like a darker mohair. I think that gives it the most texture and dimension. So I want to do this jacket, and let's see if I can describe it correctly. But I'll probably use like Holst and drops and like really cheap stuff, inexpensive stuff, because I think that it would work best. But I was thinking like a dark gray from Holst, maybe they're flannel gray, but like get a cone, spin it off, make it double, and then hold it with a drop Surrey alpaca. Now, I'm not the biggest mohair fan. I haven't bought into the mohair trend, but I really do like alpaca, and especially for like a jacket, I think that could work. So like 2 strands of Holst, 1 strand of this alpaca, which is essentially, I don't know, it'd probably be like a 5mm because it'd be like 3 strands of fingering that you knit with, and then I could do like a quilted texture on it. And I think that would be really nice, and like maybe try to add a zip. I don't know how to do that, but we can figure it out in like a pocket or a faux pocket. I'm not really quite sure. But the idea is, I think I'm gonna try to do like a jacket that I can wear that's like super big and can go over my sweater collection. So that's an idea, but that's on the back burner. I hope I described that well. What is next? Next, we have steeking. Steeking is a goal. I've never done it. I'm fascinated by it. I'll cut into a net. I'll do it. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, I have a list of projects. I think one always is either like a vest or drop shoulder that I design and do it in color work and then steek the sleeves and the neck. That's a possibility. But also, Susan Crawford has a couple really good ones. I think the Hilda, like it's a sweater, I think that could work for me. Also my writing is awful. The Petrie, which is a vest by Susan Crawford, that could also work pretty well. I think that's pretty classic. And I think also because it's a vest, I could make it and give it to somebody else that like might appreciate it a little bit more than me. I usually just wear black. So if I wear it for myself, that's not great. But a vest automatically has something under it, and despite everybody's wool tolerance, I think because you have to wear a shirt under it, it will not be so itchy. So I think a vest might be a good way to go if I have somebody to do that with. And then like any Marie Wallin pattern, but my favorite Marie Wallin pattern and one that I want to knit, so maybe this is the Make 9, is the Yell, which is like a jacket that takes like so much time, so much effort. It has a beautiful shape, and it was part of her like a wool yarn club or something one year. But I mean, it's beautiful, and then there are 1,000 different color variations and stuff. I don't know who I could get to wear at if I did it. It's quite a feminine shape, and I don't think that I would enjoy it, and I don't really want to modify it that much. But I would need somebody that has a decent yarn tolerance, because I would want to use like a Jameson's, a Holst, that sort of thing in order to get the colors. So we'll see, but I mean, that's such a beautiful thing that it's on my list, and it would be great for steeking. So, Editor Jimmy here. I completely forgot about the Marius. How could I have forgotten that? This is like the one sweater that I actually might make out of my steeking. Now, it comes in drop shoulder and yoke version, but I think I want the drop shoulder version because I think that those look a little bit better than me on me, and I would steek the sleeves. And who doesn't want some Norwegian goodness? Now, I would not use the regular colors. I would probably do like a gray top with some white color work and then a black sweater, which I know is not the most exciting, but it's what I would wear and what I would love. So, Marius, steeking, of course. Slutty summer tops. If you've been with me on this journey in this channel for a long time, I have always been looking for a slutty summer top, and I cannot, for the life of me, like find it or make one. I had almost an attempt a couple years ago that was really close, but it just like didn't happen. And I've tried so many. Maybe I need to do crochet. Maybe it's a crochet one, maybe not. I was thinking this year doing like a drop shoulder with like a sparkle yarn and something like that, because I also want it to be full coverage because I'm very pale and like the sun is not my friend. So I do think something like lacy, see-through, holy, but also full coverage. James and Watts tends to beat me to the punch. Last year he knit the Partition pullover, and I was honestly going to knit that myself. There was an image that I had saved like way before he even released it with essentially the same stitch pattern on a very attractive guy. If I have it, I'll put it up here. If not, then Partition pullover. So that was a contender, but then he released it and I'm not sure. And then I've been talking about maybe a sparkle yarn top, and then he came out with the practical sweater like just now, which is basically it. So if I do it, it probably will not be a design, maybe not. I do have like a summer idea in mind, but I'm not so sure. I don't know. But slutty summer top, I always want one. I'm always checking about my body, and then something always happens where it doesn't work. I've thrown away about 3 or 4 yarn choice, design, what have you, all of that. So that is my ongoing saga, which is at this point a personal issue and less an issue with patterns and stuff. It is, I will say, a little bit more difficult for a male identifying body to knit in the summer. There are always these quite feminine tops, which is fine It's usually the shaping of the neckline and the sleeves that gets me, where I don't want to buy those patterns and then like have to essentially rewrite it and just put the lace chart on something else, you know? I want it to be something that fits more towards my preferences, aesthetics, in terms of fit, not necessarily like you can do whatever you want. You can wear a lacy little summer lady top. That's also fine, but I don't know. I don't want to be that beige lady. I want to be that like that fun one on the street, I guess. Moving on. So I have there a Big Crochet Blanket, which is like my second project I ever made in terms of fiber arts. And it is big and lovely, and I use it every single day, and it lives on the couch because I need a security blanket. And I'm wondering if it's time to make another one. Do I want to? I do want to. Do I have time to make two? And I would make a big crochet blanket. Now, what blanket? I don't know. I like the idea of like a temperature blanket of some sort, or like a vintage inspired blanket. I don't want to say granny squares, but like a granny stripe or something kind of vintagey. I'm not really sure. I would want it to be easy because it's a lot of crochet, because I want to make it like king size bed. So I would make it huge, and I'd want to do something that's like not too intricate. I don't want to have to join 1,000 granny squares. So that's something. But I also might make, I've always had this idea of like a mandala blanket. And I made one mandala blanket, but I would like to use it with that like color change yarn. So like 2 or 3 cakes of like color change yarn, and then fade like in and then out, and just have this like beautiful mandala one. I specifically have the Maxine Afgan by Kayla Wagner. I have it downloaded. I have it saved. I think that might be a good one to do it with, because all of these ones have like 85 different colors and color change. But I think if you have like the smooth change, because that's like the color change thing, then that's probably pretty good. I'm not talking spin cycle, less Noro, but you know those cakes that you get with like one color distinctly in the middle and then like another color on the outside? I'm thinking that's what I want to do. I've not played with those yarns before. I've worked with Noro once, which is slightly different. It has faster color change. I've never done like self-striping or anything. So I think that is a contender. It will happen at one point, but I don't know. And for a crochet blanket, I want to use 100% cotton yarn. So trying to find that, we'll see. But that's an idea. I think that this is probably, this or maybe the steeking are like the least likely to happen. I don't know what's going to happen this year. Fun things come up, ideas come up, so we're not putting any pressure on it. The next one and last one, number 9, is a Christmas sweater. And the reason why I want a Christmas sweater is because this is my current Christmas sweater, which is fabulous, but she's gotten a little bigger. She's gained some weight. So this Christmas was a little too tight, and it's not going to fit next year. I can guarantee you that. So this is the Festive Yoke Pullover by Skeindeer Knits. This is a top-down sport weight thing. I knit this a while ago, so I just used Holst because I was like, this will be fine, and the gauge was a little off. So this is also quite loose, which I didn't like about it, and now that I don't fit in it, it's fine. But that's a me problem, not a pattern problem. So you pick a bunch of motifs. I think she has, 20 motifs, and she gives you instructions for the yoke, and you kind of put whatever motif wherever you want. I chose to go for a green yoke, and then I put little reindeer on the bottom, kind of next to the cuff and the hem. I elongated the cuff and hem. I made that a different color. There's no turtleneck in the pattern, so I did that myself. But I mean, it's cute, and I thought it was a really enjoyable pattern. It was a way to be creative yet still use a pattern, and it works as a great Christmas sweater. So I have this, but this needs to be given to somebody who it will fit. So the plan is, I'm thinking like Christmas in July sort of time is when I need to do this, because I need some time to think about it. But I want to do an ugly Christmas sweater, but I want it to have everything. I want it to have candy canes. I want it to have Christmas trees. Maybe a reindeer, maybe a Nordic motif. I want it to have colorwork, intarsia, cables, and 3D knitting, and I think I want the word naughty on the back in like a cursive. I think that would be really cute. And I just want it to be a fever dream. So I need to like think about it and design, and I have time to do that. But I'm just going to knit something, and we're going to go with it and see what happens. Maybe some woven knitting. I'm not really quite sure. Colorwork and intarsia and cables. We'll see. So I have that general idea in mind. All the ones that they have out there right now are like pretty and wintry, and I don't like that. So I want something uglier. What I have found, and what I probably will do, and this depends on like work and stuff, but I have recently released the Foxwood scarf again. It's just it's a Betty Martin stitch. It's a 2x2 broken rib that is on Woolfolk Far. And I just bought this color because I thought it looked good. It's this dark green. It's color number 14. And I look good in green. I didn't realize it, but I look good with this. This against my face, I actually like it. So I cannot knit designs in black yarn. I mean, I can, but they don't photograph well. So what I'm thinking is subvert the Christmas sweater. I'll have my ugly Christmas sweater, but as I design through the year, that I either use red or greens, probably greens first, because I think that I don't know, I'm in a green mood. Clearly, green mood. So I will try to make designs in red or green, and that way I can kind of use them as Christmas sweaters, but also not Christmas sweaters, and then I can have a bit of a collection. So I think that that's what I'm going to try in terms of the Christmas sweater. And that is it. Those are my Make 9 for 2025. I hope you enjoyed this like different format of a Make 9 and me rambling. Hopefully this stuff is as clear to you as it is to me, if it's clear, and I will catch you later. I want you to be kind to yourself. I want you to be kind to everybody else, and have a good day. So I will see you later. Bye.